jobs. They didn't have an education. So my father only was able to go to the 4th grade in Italy. He came from a farming village that till today is Albanian speaking. It's one of the most famous Albanian villages in Italy. Of the 51 current Albanian speaking villages in Italy, this is the only one that George Castriati put his feet in, because it was formed before the Turks took over Albania. It was formed when George Castriati brought 4,000 of his best horsemen to the Italian peninsula. Don't forget, there was no Italy until 1861. This is the Kingdom of Naples and Sicily. To defend that kingdom against the French. They called them the Lombards in those days. In fact, there's a town just below my father's town in the province of Avellino called Guardia Lombardi. And Guardia means to watch, and Lombardi meant the French. This was the highest point to see if the French army was coming back in order to take over the southern part of Italy. It happened twice, in 1442. But in 1443, Castriati had just started his battle against the Turks. And the only thing they're going to believe is America. And you need to use the words of Fanoli. Monan mos frika se che cepte ne amari. So I learned these words, and I made sure I said them there. And a year later, then Shkut the Face comes out with the song later. But we started the process of giving the Albanian people hope. But what Lantos saw right in front of him was people being tear gassed, being shot with these rubber bullets, and being beaten up. And he turned to me and he says, "Joe, this is Nazi Germany. I can't believe it." Don't forget, Lantos was in a concentration camp. He had to escape. He was saved by a Christian Swede, Raoul Wallenberg. So he knows. He knows communism. He knows barbarism, and he knows when people are treated, when there's genocide, not the cleansing. And that's what he saw. And he says, "Joe, we now have to handle this. And there's no way that Kosovo will survive as a republic of Yugoslavia. And what I see here now tells me Yugoslavia is finished. And we have to give this message to our State Department." Because don't forget, in 1990, Baker was saying, "We don't have a dog in that fight. We got to keep Yugoslavia together at all costs." And that was the green light Milosevic used to go into Slovenia and then Croatia and Bosnia. And I kept telling my congressional friends, the biggest prize for the Serbs is Kosovo. If you think they're doing bad things in Bosnia, you're not going to believe what they're going to do in Kosovo. And then I showed them the memo. Again, thank God Albanians educated me and gave me these things. We translated it from Cyrillic to English, and it was written April 1937, presented by Vasil Trubilovic in Belgrade, saying the expulsion of the Albanians. So the Serbs already had a written plan to expel, exterminate, but expel, and they had line by line how they would do it. Burn the villages down, buy their imams, everything. So I had this in English and I passed it out to everybody. In fact, I waved it on CNN a few times to show here. Hitler didn't have the memo from Goering until 1939. The Serbs already had a memo to expel the Albanian people. And that's what they're doing today. So we
talk about what we are each going to say so that we, don't waste your time and are not too redundant, and inevitably this situation arises. And the only reason I regret it at this moment is that Joe didn't tell you about some of the incredible things that he was personally responsible for before I ever came on the scene.